Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen. With me today is the effervescent Bridget D. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today. Sadly, Jeanine can't join us today, but she will be back next week, hopefully. All good things happening. But Bridget and I are carrying on here, and we actually have some interesting stuff to talk about. We didn't think we were going to have a topic today, and all of a sudden we got two topics, and that's pretty cool. So
that's right.
Well done to us, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yep.
Good.
All kinds of interesting things happening in life. And one of them, I don't know if you caught yesterday's podcast, but I interviewed a woman from South Africa named Maria. I won't give her full name because it's just too long. And it was a really interesting interview. One of the things that she talked about a lot was that, she's like many people, she has been, knocked down to the ground. In her words, she was, piled on by an avalanche, so she's been through the mill a few times. But on the other hand, she's climbed out of it at the other end. And in the process of doing that, she was looking for a way to develop a passive income for herself. And toward that end, she found herself running into scam after scam after scam. So she's talking about scams for a good part of the show. Mm-hmm. And, I certainly respect her experience. And I wouldn't want to run into all those scams either. But, it's also not something I tend to focus a lot of attention on. Well, apparently I did focus enough attention yesterday because I ran into scams today. And that's the story.
Get out. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can't wait to hear.
So the first one, I was doing some research on Facebook toward the summit that I'm trying to put together. And in the process of doing my research, something popped up in my news feed. Pretty much I've been skipping all that stuff, but this one was interesting because it came from a group that was created and is administered by a good friend of Cindy Chavez.
Oh.
And I said, oh, okay, so what's this about? And it was one of these, it was obvious clickbait kind of thing.
Okay.
In this case, it was a picture of a whole bunch of rows and columns of numbers, and they're all pretty much the same, except there were a few variations. And the note said, the first person to identify where the variation is gets a prize, like a cash prize is what they were inferring, although they didn't say it that carefully, but that's pretty much what they were saying. And I said, oh, great, what is this, some kind of a scam or something? So I decided to play along. And so
I decided to play along.
and no one else had answered. So I figured, okay, let's see what happens if I do this. So I answered, and it was a pretty easy answer. And instantly I got an instant message back from, through Messenger. And the person said, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. I just need your name and your email address so that I can put you on the list of somebody who's already won it, because we don't want people to win in more than one time.
Okay.
And that instantly put my antenna up. Why did they need my email address for that? You don't need an email address for that at all.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I guess, if they're trying to send a payment, maybe I could justify it that way. So, all right, but I'm not going to give them like my good address. So I have a number of email addresses. I have one that I almost never use. So I gave them that one.
Yeah.
And she comes back and says, okay, hang on, mate, I'm processing it. And then she puts up a little image of one of these little clocks saying processing, it's like halfway through it. It's just an image. It's not actually a processing thing. I say, what is this? And so I wait. Nothing happens. I said, so is something supposed to happen? She says, just be patient. So I'm waiting. I must have waited like 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. Finally, she comes back to me and she says, let's see, how'd this go? She said, all right, next thing I need you to do is I need you to set up, for security, I need you to set up 2-factor on Facebook. Do you know how to do that? If you don't, I'll walk you through it. Well, I know what 2-factor authentication is. I don't know. Do you know what that is? I know what it is.
I didn't know Facebook had it or whatever.
A lot of the platforms have it these days. Basically, it's a way of making sure that you are you. Because when you log in, they also send you like a text message or a message through an app that they run or something like that. So they have 2 ways of checking to make sure it's you.
Yeah.
Now, she had just, I know what the previous question was, what method do you want me to pay? And we can do it with PayPal, we can do it with Venmo. She listed a whole bunch of them. I said, well, I know PayPal real well. So I said, yeah, pay through PayPal. And that's when she came back with a question about 2-factor authentication. Well, I know an awful lot about IT, and I can tell you there is absolutely no necessary connection at all between two-factor authentication on Facebook and receiving a payment on PayPal. They are
I know nothing, and that
totally
sounds weird.
separate. I mean, that's just not even close. And so I said that to her. I said, I don't really see what there's a connection there. I know PayPal pretty well, and you don't need a two-factor authentication in order to receive a payment. And then I got crickets. And so I tried to check her profile. Her profile was gone. And her membership in the group was gone.
Oh, my God.
And the post was gone. And all my antennas said, scammer.
Oh, my God.
So I reported it to Cindy's friend, Jeanette, let her know about it. And she was freaked out, like, oh, my God, why are they targeting my group? Because her group isn't a very big group, so she couldn't understand.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my God.
That wasn't the end of it, though.
Oh.
Because you know how it is with the law of attraction, right? When you attract something, you don't necessarily attract it just once.
Yeah, sometimes it can keep on lingering.
They do. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this, within 5 minutes of me contacting Jeanette, I got the mail, and in the mail was a letter that seemed to be from the state of Connecticut about our LLC filing for Louise's gardening business coming up for renewal, which is true. In January, there's a renewal that you have to go through, and basically you do what they officially call refiling and filing your annual statement. Okay. But this one said that the fee to process it was $340. I said, what? There's no fee to process that. There's a tax that you pay in Connecticut every 2 years for having an LLC. I think it's about $200, something like that. But there's no fee to process it. So I looked a little more closely, and I realized that it was designed to look exactly like a state of Connecticut form, but there was no header saying from the state of Connecticut. And then when I looked closer, I realized that it was from a company called, I think it was CNS in Lansing, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And in the fine print, it says, we are not associated with the state of Connecticut. What?
Oh, my God.
So I Googled it, and sure enough, there was a local newspaper report about how this scam operation was scamming people, and the state had gotten hundreds of complaints, and they gave a...
Thank God you looked into it like that.
I showed it to my wife. I said, you're the business owner. If you had received this, what would you have done? And she said, if you hadn't showed it to me this way, I probably would have said, yeah, it's something we got to pay. Because it looked official. It really looked official. It was a very...
Yeah, they do a really good job.
Oh, yeah. Very clever.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, yeah.
And they thought that they had framed it in a way that was totally within the law. Well, they're going to find out that's not true. But they didn't claim to be from the state. They didn't claim to be associated with the state. They didn't claim anything like that. No, they made it very clear in the fine print that none of that was true. Yeah. But you had to read the fine print to see it.
That is wild.
But two scams
within 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes of each other. I said, okay, all right, time to shift this vibration.
I was just going to say, that vibe had to go. Whatever vibe that was, that had to
go. So I had to go out and take a walk, and that helped a whole lot. But yeah, interesting reinforcement how the law of attraction really does work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you can't take your walks, do you ever not walk because it's too cold? Like literally this morning, I decided not to go because it said it felt like 24 out or something. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something inside today. I'll ride the bike or whatever. Right. So I did that and stuff like that and music and other low thought activities and things like that. Like when I had to, because that walk in the morning really does wonders for me. So do you ever skip yours ever?
Occasionally, particularly during the gardening season, when I'm just overloaded with work, I just kind of have to. Gotcha. But I try not to because I get so much value. And this time of year, I try to go in early afternoon, actually. Oh, okay. Because that's when it's the warmest part of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would just have to switch up my schedule, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a little bit of a challenge, but yeah. Yesterday I went out in the morning and it was cold, but I found that the trick with doing a walk when it's cold like that is make sure I'm bundled up from the shoulder to the head. A muffler, or a scarf as we call it, or a hat and all that kind of stuff.
I was fine yesterday somehow, but today when I even went near my door, I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, maybe not today. Maybe today I can skip. But I don't want to keep doing that. So I was like, I wonder what Walt does because I know he walks like 4 miles a day.
Yeah, pretty close. pretty close. I mean, it is a 4-mile trip and it's almost every day. There are times like if it's a really high wind and it's a cold day, like I don't really want to brave that. Although I remember one time I did. I was really determined to get out that day.
Yeah.
But, and if it's pouring rain, I don't really want to go on a pouring rain day.
Yeah, if it's drizzle, sometimes it feels good. But yeah, if it's pouring,
Sometimes.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to figure something else out. What will you do? Like, do you have to do something else during the day if you don't get your walk in because it does too much for you?
You mean after I freak out?
Yeah. Right? We always do that first.
Actually, I don't freak out, but it's more like, oh, geez, I really wanted to get out. It's that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So
no,
it's like
me too.
a little down the spiral, not all the way to the bottom, but a little bit. You have to kind of.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to think about something else I'm going to have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I can usually figure something out. I mean, usually I take my shower after my walk, and if I can't get the walk in, well, I'll just go take a shower and pretend that I took the walk, and it feels a little bit better.
Yeah. A hot shower.
Kind of fake myself into it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
trick your mind.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot. That's what a lot of this stuff is.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%.
Tricking ourselves out of, the stuff we don't want to be paying attention to, giving our attention to that gives us the wrong vibe and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So tell us what happened with you.
Oh my God. So it was hilarious. So I loved your Friday show with Debbie G. If someone did not listen to it, you should listen to it. They're all amazing, your Friday shows, but that I loved. Seriously. So when she was saying, are you in gratitude or are you complaining? I made that one of my new sticky notes that I have hanging in our bathroom, right?
Nice.
So I was complaining about something one day, like something stupid, but like I was complaining, right? And I couldn't be happier. My husband was like, are you complaining or are you in gratitude? I was like, him of all people. I was like so shocked, so happy. I was like, hell yeah. Like, that's right. And it totally changed my whole vibe. Like, I no longer was complaining. I was literally in gratitude for the fact that you guys had that show so I could put that sticky note up so my husband could say that. So it totally changed my whole day. Like, literally everything about it changed. Like, it was just, we just started dying laughing. So then the next day or later that day, I don't even know. I'm not coach time. I don't like care about it. But he was complaining so I did it to him. I was like, oh, are you complaining or are you in gratitude? And it was like, he starts dying laughing. So like, it worked both ways, dude. So it was amazing. I was like, yes, all the way around. Score. It was awesome because he's really not normally the type that would, but he's like, no, I've been reading your notes. And I was like, and I'm loving it. It was awesome. It was
Isn't that cool
awesome.
how when you do stuff like that, it rubs off on somebody else who's in the same place?
Yes, like when David was saying that, and I was like, oh, that'll be awesome, like for us or whatever. And when it happens, you're like, oh my God, like because you do see such a change in both of you. Like I you know what I mean? I see one in him, and he's not in boot camp, whatever. You know what I mean? Like it was great. So yeah, your Friday show was great. If no one listened to it, y'all should listen to it for sure.
Thank you for the endorsement. We love that. I'll let Debbie G know that too.
Oh my God. I think I messaged her too. I was like, oh my God, because I was loving it in that moment. I couldn't believe that all that happened. And then when it happened again and I did it like to him and he was laughing, he wasn't, we just both started dying. It was not like you were still like, butthurt type of whatever downward spiral mood you were in. You just started dying laughing and we're both just like, oh my God, like this is great.
That is very cool. Yeah. I love that. I mean, it's always fun. It's always fun when we know that something that we did on the show helps influence somebody else for the better. But when you come back and you talk about it, that's even better. Yeah.
And when it's in your own household, I was like, what? I was like, so if I don't know if I'm helping anyone out there, which obviously I hope I am, I at least know I'm helping myself and him, and that rocks. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So definitely, props to that Friday show for sure.
I know exactly how that feeling is for sure, because that's what I've been going on for a long time before. So I'm trying to remember who told the story. Somebody on the show, it may have been a co-host, it may have been a guest, maybe it was David. I can't remember who it was, but somebody came on one time and told a story about a woman who was doing affirmations in the mirror every morning because she wanted to lose weight. And her husband lost 10 pounds.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I did not hear that. I like that.
That is great.
That is, oh my God. That is so great. Seriously. And the other day I was thinking too, right? Because I wanted to bring this up to you. I'm like, I wonder what he thinks. Like, or if you had to do anything like similar to this or whatever. Like affirmations, right? Like if one is not working for me, like, and it's just like, routinely not, so I just won't do it. It will work for, like, it'll work if it's like in a song or something. I don't know if it's because it's too, like, a rhythm, a beat, whatever it is, but I can actually feel like I am that person singing that song, and I am rich, and I am this, and I am that, and whatever, right? Instead of me, like, reading it, like, you know what I mean? Like, I am whatever, like, you know, so I was like, oh my God, like, I can feel this feeling with a beat behind it. So I'm like, I might just make me up a little song of affirmations. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if it works, it works.
I'm trying to remember what this person's name was. She was a guest on the show earlier this year, and she actually made herself quite famous. She used to be a rock and roll singer in the 1980s in a local band. And she got in an accident of some kind, seriously injured, where she was in the hospital and hospitalized for quite some time. Now, this is the 1980s, so the next part will make more sense when I say it that way. She asked for her husband or family or somebody to bring her a cassette deck.
Okay.
So that she could record into the cassette deck some affirmations that she wanted to play back for herself. And because she was a singer, she sang them into the cassette deck. And it worked so well in terms of helping to speed up her recovery. She got really psyched about it. She got her band together. They went into the recording studio and they recorded some songs of affirmations.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they ended up distributing them, and they got picked up by people like Bob Proctor, who brought her onto his show, onto his one of his live events. And yeah, her career just took off doing
That's amazing.
Singing affirmations. So you're talking
about
this.
Okay.
We interviewed this woman. I think it was earlier this year. I can't remember what part.
I probably listened to it too and like didn't even like I was probably like, oh, that sounds cool, until I like realized to myself one day when I was walking and listening to music, because when I do my walk I listen to music. That I like realized it. I was like, oh my God, I can feel the feeling now. That's so funny. That's awesome.
Really, that's the bottom line.
I know. Whatever you gotta feel it, man. Yeah.
If you feel it better because you hear it in a song, guess what? You feel it better because you hear it in a song.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody else says. If it's true for you, it's true for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you started saying affirmations, the first thought that came to my mind was, I don't even do the same affirmation day to day. I mix it every single day. It's different.
I was like, oh, that's very interesting. Like, I'll add to mine, but mine, I really actually haven't changed mine in, I don't even know how long. So I remember you saying that on one of your shows.
And most people I know do. They keep the same one. It's too boring.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I
gotta mix it up. Otherwise, I won't even do it.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know?
How many do you do? Do you do like mine's like a page long, but do you just do like a few or like?
I don't even reference anything. I do what comes to my mind.
Nice.
But what I do is I try to focus on whatever it is for at least a minute and to feel it.
Okay.
So if I'm doing that, then I figure I don't care what it is, as long as I'm feeling it and it's something I like. Hey, I'm getting the vibe up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's actually part of this routine that I started doing about a week ago. I think I talked about it a few times on the show last week, where I'm doing basically some of the things from Taya and other things that I've done in the past, but I'm doing them all in a group in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to confess, I actually did miss a day. I missed a day on Sunday. I don't know why, but I did. But every other day I've been doing them. And I start off with a meditation. I start off with David's meditation from Taya.
Mm-hmm.
I go on to do some affirmations. Then I do some appreciations, with 3 appreciations, again from Taya, but also I've been doing 3 appreciations with Louise since, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that. So it's not anything new for me. And then what comes after that? The vision board that we create in Taya.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of get excited about that and by the time I've gotten that far, my vibe is pretty high.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I have to do a whole lot more at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, and the mirror exercises. I do the mirror exercises for at least a minute or two.
Okay.
And that combination, by the time I'm done with that part, I mean, I'm running at about 150 miles an hour. I've got so much high energy going on.
Yeah. See, I tried the mirror exercise and it was like weird because it was the first time. And I remember you saying that too. I think you felt weird the first time you were doing it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I never did it before. This is going to be weird.
It is.
But yeah.
It feels very strange the first time.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to acknowledge with Joe B. This is like, 20 minutes ago when we were talking about the scammers, but Joe B put something in the chat and I didn't even see it. He said, "Scammers are funny. My car's warranty is running out since 2017.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I think we all know that one.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so true. It's funny.
Yeah.
The good thing is we can laugh at it. That's really the most important thing.
As long as you're getting it in the mail. I mean, I had a fake ADT guy come to my house one time and oh my God, I could tell though, I could feel his energy was like horrible. And my husband did that he called and he was fake and stuff and it was so weird. He was trying to look behind me, is anyone in my house? Whatever, yeah. So yes, now I just don't answer my door to be honest with you, but because I mean, if I know you, I probably know you're coming over. So I'm just I'm good. Am I getting that? Because most of the time it is just people walking door to door. I don't even know if they're even supposed to be, whatever they're doing, but I'm just I'm not getting that. Cause there's a lot of scammers these days, man.
Yeah, I guess there are. I mean, as I think about it, I routinely do things to just, I know it's that's probably a scam. I just dismiss or do what I have to do to dismiss it.
Yeah.
But yesterday and today's experience basically reinforced me. I'm attracting too much of it. I gotta shift that vibe entirely. Because I don't want to keep having to. Who wants to have to deal with scams all the time? Yeah, I mean,
I normally don't encounter that. Luckily.
Yeah, I normally don't either. That's what but I have to admit there are times when I'm when I'm administering the Facebook groups that I have. You have to deal with all kinds of.
That would be.
Yeah. But it's gotten to the point now where I don't even think about, dismiss. There's no thought that goes attached to it.
Right.
So, it's not that big of a deal. But,
yeah.
Maybe if I can really take my mind off it in other ways, maybe they'll stop coming to the group.
Yeah, right.
That would be fun.
Yes. Yes.
I would like that a lot. I had something else interesting happen. I've told you that and told everybody I've been working on putting the summit together to help people with Facebook groups and using groups to, develop a second income and passive income, all that kind of stuff. And in the process of doing that, I was realizing I need to make sure that I have a broad enough audience of people to reach out to. If I'm going to sell tickets to the thing, I mean, you don't want, 5 people to show up, right?
Right.
So you got to make it a good size audience. And so I've been kind of working on that. And I did some digging around in my account to look at stuff, what do I have there in terms of audiences? Now, obviously, LOA Today audience and so forth. But I wondered if there was anything old that was in there. And sure enough, there was a group I had completely forgotten about that I abandoned in 2016.
Ooh.
5 years ago. And it was a business group. And the reason I abandoned it, the business I was associating it with, I had left that behind. So I said, well, I don't need the group anymore. So I think I archived it. I just kind of said, I'm done with it.
Okay.
But it had 600 or 700 people in it. I thought, well, if it's a business group, that's fairly close to Facebook groups for second income. Why don't I repurpose that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that. So that's my current project right now, repurposing that group to create a new audience. Who knows? Maybe create some more listeners for LOA Today. Wouldn't that be
cool? Well, you're definitely up your spiral when you got that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about today. I'm glad you said that. Because of course, I'm about one module away from being ready to graduate.
Oh, are you? That's awesome.
But I've been there for about a week and a half, so that's not all that awesome.
I feel the same way on my end that I'm on, but it's because it's an hour a day, so sometimes it's hard for me to sit for hours.
Oh, are you on 14?
Yeah. I love it, and I also am like, oh man, sometimes it's hard for me to sit for an hour. That's all.
Well, that's what I use my walk for. My hour was my walk, and then I come back and I journal about it.
Yeah, maybe I should use. Yeah, that's a very good point.
It's a nice, easy way to get it going. I don't even have to work on being high vibe. I just go out and I feel better.
Yeah, you're already there. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Thanks, Walt. See, I knew you had good tips for me today. I knew. I had questions. I knew I was getting tips. This is great. Hey, sorry, I cut off your story too, but
no, that's all right. That's all right. But what was my story? I've forgotten now.
Because you were your module that you're on.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, the story wasn't the module itself. What was it? It was There was something associated with it. Oh, yes. One of the key factors that we learn in Thai, and actually this is taught by a lot of different gurus and teachers of the law of attraction, conscious creation, and all that, is the idea that you need to be what in Thai we call up the spiral before you try to solve any problem, before you try to do anything. Because if you try to do something from a low vibration place, all kinds of problems.
Normally it doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really work out very nicely. So I've been really cognizant of that. And when you mentioned that came from a high vibration place, it did. Because I literally, each time that I've been trying to gain some inspiration about what to do next with this project, I'm climbing myself up to the higher vibe space to do it. And then stuff is coming.
That's beautiful.
And what's especially beautiful about it is that because I understand now how that principle works, the idea that you get that stuff when you're high vibe, because when you're high vibe, you're most connected. Mm-hmm. I'm learning to trust it more easily now. These are messages that I used to get and I didn't trust them. But now I know what the criteria is for trusting it. Am I feeling good or am I feeling bad? If I'm feeling bad, don't trust it. Yeah. If I'm feeling good, trust it. But I didn't know that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely been there. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I've talked about gratitude. I'm really grateful for that piece of information.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh yeah. That clarity comes a knocking and you're like, oh.
Oh, 80s in the live stream.
Aw, hey.
Hello, Delataya.
Yeah.
Boot camper. And she says she shared the podcast with a friend today, so she started
listening.
Hey!
Oh, that's awesome. You. Yeah, thank you.
That's
fabulous.
So cool. Yeah, it's fun to see you too, Addie. And we'll see you tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We got a boot camp meeting tonight. So, yeah, that's great.
I know, she's fun.
Yeah, Addie's fabulous. I mean,
I love hearing her talk.
I
like sometimes sometimes I'm just quiet in there because I just love hearing everyone talk. Like I love hearing everyone else, you know what I mean?
Like we've said many times, what happens in boot camp stays in boot camp, but I can definitely say that where Adie is concerned, she came in just after I came in and I've loved her progress. I loved watching her progress because she has moved ahead so well. I mean, just really, it's impressive. So Addie,
it seems like it.
I love you. You're great.
Yeah, no, she's super cool.
Oh, and she says that her friend's now part of her high vibe tribe.
Ooh.
Very good. All right. Good stuff.
Nice.
I love it. I love it. So did you hear about what David's talking about tonight?
No.
He's talking about that pyramid again.
Ooh.
The abundance pyramid.
I listened to that twice this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting concept, isn't it?
Yes. I love it.
Basically, for non-Thai people, basically it's the idea that any given person in any given field of endeavor, in any given area of life, is going to be somewhere in this pyramid structure. The pyramid structure being at the bottom of the pyramid, people who aren't as high vibe as the people at the top of the pyramid, and the people at the top of the pyramid are the ones who are living the abundant lifestyles. And so, for instance, where wealth is concerned, the people at the top of the pyramid are the ones who are very wealthy, and they basically have the perfect lifestyle and so forth, and their thought process is quite different from the ones who are at the bottom of the of the pyramid, who are the wage slaves, scraping to get by. And I've been there; I know what that one's like. But it's an interesting concept that he lays out there. So be looking forward to see what more he has to say about that today.
Definitely.
So, well, interesting stories we've had to share today. I'm not sure where to go next, but if nothing else, we have illustrated very nicely what happens when you work on yourself.
I know, right? I agree.
Good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't always document them. I mean, in a sense, we're documenting them, but that's just, we do a podcast, so we can do it fairly easily. But normally we don't document this kind of thing.
Yes, very true. I mean, like earlier in the week, I was like beating myself up for a minute about like, not being able to sit for an hour. And then I was just like, put the hammer down. I was like, don't beat yourself up. I'm just like, forget it all, dude. Go do anything that's going to put you like near joy. Go dance, go do anything, Mm-hmm. So, I think that's actually when I put on your podcast and got way high vibe with you and WG, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
that
happens often.
I love
That happens often.
I mean, I can't hear that often enough. Somebody saying, "Oh, I listened to the podcast and it gave me the lift that I needed." Like, yes, this is great. I love
Oh my God,
this.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that almost exceeds what my highest dreams were when I first started doing the podcast.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you said, we don't always like write things down or even like congratulate ourselves. So that's where I was going with it. I'll beat myself up for a second instead. And then I'll be like, no, dude, what did you do that was awesome today? What did you do that was great for yourself today? What did you do that was great for somebody else today? You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. So
I like the sequence too. That's a nice sequence. Is that the one you always do just like that?
Well, I feel like because of the whole airplane method and everything, you take care of yourself first or else you can't help anyone else around you and you can't even be an example for anyone else around you type of thing, So yeah, kind of.
That's good. I like it. That's really good.
Yeah.
Taking the airplane analogy and turning it into a way to heal it yourself and everybody else at the same time. That's wonderful.
Right. I mean, hey.
That's really, really good. What would you say is the best thing that you've gotten so far out of the Thai experience?
Diving deep and realizing that literally the biggest thing that I did lack, I think I did bring it up before, but just that how low of self-esteem that I had throughout my life and why certain things happened because of that vibration that I was totally in.
That's a big topic.
And then after that, it was kind of a victim vibration because of things that happened to me when really now I just see everything so much differently because of Thai.
Yeah, that does help a lot. But that is a big topic that we have addressed a number of times, the topic of self-esteem, particularly low self-esteem. And
it's huge.
We've addressed it a number of different ways. How do you resolve it? What do you do when you're dealing with it and so forth? You just said that you were able to improve, I'm guessing substantially on it through the Taya program. What did you end up doing in Taya that shifted your self-esteem?
It was because when I was journaling my first module with my top 3, I was just realizing when I was digging deep and doing like the branches and everything, what was I realized that there was just one main component to everything I felt like had happened in my life. I just clearly was lacking self-esteem. From things that had happened. Yeah. Clearly.
So 2 factors there. Not only did you identify the common factor being you lacking self-esteem, but you also at the same time identified the common factor as being you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's because of Taya, I realized literally you make everything in your life. So you can make yourself a victim. You can make yourself happy. You can make yourself sad, whatever. It's up to you, And I just feel like I totally, I looked at when I went and read my journal, I was like, wow, that is the main component. And I think it's the main component for so many of us because I do think majority of us just lack self-esteem, whether it's you compare yourself to other people or just you compare yourself to the media or you're just down on yourself because you think you didn't do good enough at X, Y, and Z or you didn't get into this school or that, or whatever it is that you may think in your head. I don't know. But, I just feel like somewhere, everywhere, everyone has a self-esteem, lack, or at least they have in their life. You know what I mean?
So did you find yourself doing something to change it, or was it just simply identifying that it was there and that was enough?
Well, I already changed some of it before Taya. I definitely changed it, before Taya. I would probably say even, within, the last, a good while, probably, 6 years. But before that, I want to tell you, I probably had, literally close to none.
Wow.
But through Taya, it's just, it made me look at all of life different. So it makes me look at me different and literally just, life. We're all just here living. I don't judge me really anymore or others, whether it was me thinking that I was doing them a favor, oh, I don't want you to do that because, this could happen to you or whatever. No, everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's on their own path. I love everyone and everything, but I don't need to fix anyone. No one's broken. I do hate that a lot of people do think, I don't hate that a lot of people think that they can think whatever they want, but a lot of people think that, oh, this person's broken. Oh, you just want to fix people. And it's like, no, none of us are broken, dude. We're all just here living our lives.
Isn't that a big concept? Isn't that a big concept?
And it's huge. It sounds stupid, but it's just huge.
Well, particularly that none of us are broken.
Yeah.
Because that's not the message we normally get.
Exactly.
We get the message that there's, everybody's broken in some way or another.
And this is wrong with you. This is wrong with you. Do you want this medication? Do you want this? Do you want this? Because you might have to do this because this is going to happen. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah.
And of course, with the law of attraction, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which makes it even worse.
Go into all, yeah. So I'm so thankful for Taya and just, yeah.
And for knowing that we're not broken. That we're actually whole. We've been whole all along. We just need to give ourselves a little more credit.
Right. Yeah. Right? For the things that we do instead of beating ourselves up.
I mean, you said for the last 6 years, you had been working on improving your own self-esteem. Was there anything that you did particularly? I mean, did you have like a daily routine? Is there, we're doing certain kinds of activities? Was it, what did you do?
Well, I do know that once I did start getting into like podcasts like this and yours and doing affirmations and things like that helped me like immensely as well.
Okay.
But I think I just started like literally just like loving myself more. Like I think I was just being more in tune with myself and looking like just more inward and like just started, like really figuring out who I was. And loving myself just for that, That's
pretty good. That's really good, actually.
I feel like it's hard, and I feel like a lot of people, you don't think like about yourself or who you are and this and that, because so much is going on in the world. You know what I mean? So I think back then I would just put everything down. I think I just really went like more inward in a good way. You know what I mean? It's not like I just like shut out the world because I'm like a people person, but like I just like went more inward and like just more self-discovery type thing. And then just more self-love, self-appreciation, started listening to the podcast and like listening to what I could do to start doing more like self-care, all that.
That's really, really big. Yeah. That's not the typical response that people have. That's why I'm really appreciative of what you did, because I'm thinking back to when I was, in my early 20s. I was the least confident human being, certainly in my neighborhood, if not on the face of the planet. It was pretty close. I was in the top 10,
Yeah.
It was not a happy thing. Now, I did go inside, but I didn't know anything about the importance of building myself up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about the importance of self-love and all that kind of thing. All I did was stew on the fact that I didn't feel, I felt broken, to use the popular phrase.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that wasn't the phrase at the time, but that pretty much was what it amounted to. And I also felt alienated from society.
Mm-hmm.
And that combination is not a healthy combination.
No.
When you're not doing anything to actually work on improving yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know to work on myself.
I felt that way in high school. And I didn't know how to work on myself. I went inward in kind of a bad way in a certain point in high school and stuff. And even after college. Yeah. So.
But you picked it up after college, which is really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I went through a phase after college, a little partying phase, but after that it was all good.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Right. But after that, it was just really just self-discovery. And then, I also did have, and I still do sometimes, I'll write down what I did do during the day that if I feel like I didn't accomplish stuff, and I know for a fact I did, that's just, the stupid voice in my head. So I'll write things down that I did so I can be like, oh yeah, I did do that. Like, ooh, proud of me. You know what I mean? You got to do that because I feel like it's so easy to forget and just not do it. And then you're just not proud of yourself, and then you just beat yourself up and remember the things that you didn't do for some reason. I don't know why we do that, but we got to reverse that in there. Takes a little bit.
So you've been writing that kind of stuff down for years now, long before Elway Today and Ty and all that kind of stuff.
Probably around when I started listening to all the podcasts, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably around then.
Okay.
So it's been like a little process. But I'm happy where I'm at, so.
But I'm thinking that's actually a form of journaling.
Yeah, very true. It is.
That's really what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You may not have called it that, But
true. Yeah.
that's,
No, I didn't
really
know
what
at
you
the
were
time.
doing. Even if you're just making a list, it's a form of a journal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It truly is, which is very interesting.
And then I'm like grateful I got to do those things instead of like, oh, I had to do that. Like, no, I got to do the dishes or whatever. You know what I mean?
So giving yourself a really positive spin on it.
Yeah. Like if I don't feel it like that positive already, I'm going to make it, I'll manipulate it to make it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cause they're like in anything, there's always good and bad. So I'm going to try and find the good.
That's really, really good. I like that. Cindy would like that too. Do you know her story that she likes to tell about good luck, bad luck? That's basically the
Yes,
same
yes,
concept.
yes.
Right. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Oh, she's so good.
She is. I love her. She's wonderful.
Yeah, she is. So
In fact,
good.
it's going to be interesting to see. The person who's the friend of hers, I believe, is actually if she's the person I think she is, she's the one who runs the coaching school that Cindy went to.
Ooh.
And after I had this little incident and informed her about what was going on, she was very grateful that I told her. I said, hey, if you ever want to come on the show, love to have you. And she said, sure. So I sent her the link, so she may come on the show sometime. That'd be great to have her.
That's awesome. That'd be so could.
Because I know
that would be such a good show. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I mean, oof.
Yeah.
Gives you chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, honestly, she's so good. She even posted something one day that like seriously hit home. Like it was about conflict or something and how it's not bad because if you don't address things, that's when you internalize it and you have internal conflicts and like all this stuff. And it was like an amazing post. I had to message her. I was like, oh my God, I loved it. And I think it was a day where I needed to hear it anyway. Cause, like I don't really like, no one wants, well, I mean, some people, I don't want conflict, but like sometimes you just need to like have those conversations you don't want to have type thing, and it was kind of like that, and like things always come out of them though, right? Like good or bad, like at least there's a resolution type thing. It's not all up in the air and weirdness feelings and like, it's just like, nah, dude, let's talk about it and get over it, Her post was just freaking awesome. I was like, oh my God, I love you. I had to message her. I was like, yes. Yeah.
I'm sure she appreciated that too. Oh yeah.
It was a good one. Because you do. Sometimes you have to have those convos you don't want to have,
Yeah. But the way you're looking at it is different from the way many people look at that. That's what's so cool in my mind. Because I just
started doing that more recently.
But I mean, that's almost like right out of most therapy situations. You have to dive in and you have to dig out all this stuff and so forth. But the way they're looking at it is different. The way you're looking at it is dig this stuff out so I can find what I like.
Yeah, so we can just like work it out. Like if we don't have this out, there's like this weird, like how people call the elephant in the room. Like let's not have any elephants, dude. Like I don't like let's get over the weirdness. Like that's the weird part, not really the so-called like conflict thing. Like it doesn't have to be like a conflict. Let's just talk it out. And if it's going to end in us, like say it's your friend or something and it's going to end in you guys either parting ways or your friendship just grew stronger. Whichever it is, it's still like a resolution. You know what I mean? Instead of like some weirdness, because then some shit's going to happen anyway. We're going to end up friends.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good.
It's true. I think it's
And I used to hate it. I used to not want to have those like icky conversations. But really, if you don't have them, then what do you have? It's just like some weird up in the air nothing.
Well, it's kind of like what the elephant left on the living room floor.
Yeah. I don't want the elephant on my floor.
No.
Not anymore. I'm like, get the elephant out.
But that is a serious mess we're talking about right there.
I love what I just pictured. I honestly remember when Louis was talking about the pink elephant. So I just pictured like a pink elephant and all that good stuff. Yeah.
That's one of the fun things about doing the show and hearing from people like you, but also talking with people like Louis, is all the different ways that everybody who contributes to the show finds to exercise our minds, to exercise our abilities, to imagine, to create. Because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure most of us, before we came into this environment here, didn't really do it very much. Didn't really do a whole lot of imagining. Maybe when we were kids, but that was about it. You know, we kind of grew out of it as is, you know, as popularly believed you should do. But so many of us are now redeveloping it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just hear it from the stories, first of all, but I keep imagining what happens as that process continues in the lives of all the people who are involved here, all the listeners, all the co-hosts, all the guests. It just gets better and better and better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is abundance, by the way.
Yes. We're living our abundance with law of attraction. That's what it is now, right?
That's right.
Yes. Yes. I like it.
I've even got the group set up and the page set up. So I got to start populating that with some content. But yeah.
There we go.
Living our abundance. I love the phrase.
I'm digging it. Yeah. Me too.
It captures it nicely. Plus,
sure.
People who I've run it by who have had good marketing experience are telling me, yeah, they like it. So, okay. Good.
There we go.
I'm liking this.
I went for marketing for 1 year. I dig it. You got my approval.
Oh, okay. For 1 year.
1 year counts, right?
You took a course?
No, I went to East Stroudsburg for a year.
Oh, okay. So you were a marketing major for that 1 year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But apparently that was not your...
No. School really was never my cup of tea. I really went for the experience, and my parents knew that as well. And then I didn't go back the next year because I was not, like, I'm not a school person. I wasn't doing well. I could have went back, and then I was like, I'm just wasting their money. So, yeah.
That's good to notice that and to, you know...
Yeah, I was totally like, dude, you're wasting their money. Like, do not go back for a second year. And I didn't really dig it either, so. But it was a cool experience, but I did not dig it that much.
But you must have had something that you wanted to do instead. Because usually when somebody goes to school, they don't leave unless they have something else they want to do.
Well, I wasn't happy there, and I thought, like, I wanted marketing because I was like, I wanted to, like, make commercials and stuff, or, like, you know what I mean? But really, it wound up being more like, I feel like marketing and sales, and, like, I don't want to do, like, I don't want to, like, I'm not, like, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not really, like, I can sell things, I'm sure I could, but I don't want it, so, but yeah, I thought marketing, I always was like, oh, I could make such a better commercial than that, man. I could, like, for real, that was always in my head. I could make such a better commercial. So, yeah, I thought marketing would be fun, but nah, I didn't dig it that much, but, I'm so glad that I came home because I just think, like, literally, if one thing hadn't happened, then the rest of some things may have not happened in my life. So I'm always like, hey, if I could have stayed there for 4 years, I may have not met my husband. So thank God I did not stay there for 4 years.
Okay. So that was one really good benefit.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, though, is interesting because I had actually considered the idea of pursuing a marketing degree, and I rejected it largely, I think, for very similar reasons to what you experienced. And it wasn't until after many years later of, you know, trying to start my own business and all that kind of thing, that I realized that the way the word marketing is used in academia really isn't accurate. Marketing is actually quite, well, no, I should qualify that. The way it was taught in academia, I don't know how they teach it right now.
Me either, because now everything's different. My niece is learning things in, oh my God, like literally like 6th grade that they never taught us. Like, I'm not even kidding. She can balance a checkbook before I even knew what a checkbook was. Like, it's bizarre. It's crazy. It's awesome.
That is. It's very good. Although it's kind of interesting because people don't even use checkbooks anymore.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they don't. Yeah, I think they don't teach like cursive. People are like, oh, do people still sign checks? Like, I'm like, I don't know. I had to go to Catholic school for 8 years, so I do know how to write cursive, even though it looks like crap. It looks terrible, but I know.
Interesting side note about that, what you just said there, because, and this also is true for my wife and other people I've met, often women will say that their teachers in school told them that they were terrible at cursive. And then I look at their handwriting and it's gorgeous.
Oh, that's not me. That's so funny. Yeah, that one's not me. Now, everyone in the office, even if I print, everyone in the office, if it looks like a 12-year-old boy's handwriting, they would be like, that's Bridget. That's hers. Yep. Yeah, people couldn't read mine. My handwriting was just as bad as the doctor's handwriting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you and I have that in common then, because my handwriting, my cursive is completely illegible. Just totally. I can't even read it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote it 10 minutes ago and I still don't know what I said. I mean, it's that bad.
Right. You know what I try and make sure I really actually do, like, neat for me anyway, is my sticky notes and my affirmations. I will make sure I know how to read. I can still read my handwriting on them.
Well, since we're in the age of being able to process money electronically with the gardening business, 99.9% of our customers pay by check. And now that we can deposit checks using a phone, I didn't even go to a bank this year. I just did everything by phone.
Nice.
But I did a lot of checks, and you have to, I should have gotten one of those stamps. I didn't get a stamp. But I was writing Gardens by Louise on every single check. And the first few were so illegible, I said, okay, I got to start printing this. So I started printing it. And I actually got it to the point where it was quite legible. I'm thinking to myself, so this is what it takes to actually get better handwriting.
Yeah, right.
Because you want to make sure that you get paid on the check, right?
Very true. Very true. Yes. Oh my God. That's very true. That's another good
But that's one of those skills that's going to disappear pretty soon, because, like I said, I'll get a stamp next year and then I don't even have to sign the check anymore.
I know. Everyone, oh my gosh, at my old work, everyone would be like, oh, just send me through this app. This app. I was like, I don't have any of those.
Yeah.
I literally don't have any of those. They were like, what? I was like, I have cash. Anybody use that anymore?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Well, it's still a lot of people resist, and understandably.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I haven't made it there yet.
There's actually some reason to be cautious about that kind of thing. And I say that as somebody who knows the IT world. Right. There are reasons. I mean, there are reasons to be cautious either way, but the scammers don't pay a whole lot of attention to the offline stuff like they did before. Not that they've disappeared, but And I said I wasn't going to focus on that anymore. And what am I doing? I'm focusing on.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, we're probably fearing this right into us. So I was like, oh my God. At least we both had the same thought. Next.
Yes. Next. Move this along really quickly. I'm done with that topic.
Yeah. Look, you can look at my blanket. Look, hugs, bear hugs, peace, love, hope. There we go. Nice. Change that vibe.
Instant gratification right there.
Woo, yes.
Yeah. Instant gratitude.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I love how you have described the various ways that you have messaged yourself around the house.
Oh yeah, my sticky notes. I'm so thankful that my husband never
not just that,
hated them or
you got
anything.
The comforter in the background.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I do stare at this every day. Yeah, I am in this room a lot. Yes, I do. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That really.
But I do love that he doesn't hate all my sticky notes all over.
That is good.
I do. Yes. I do love that he hasn't taken any down. Now he's using them.
Now, I have another question for you, because I have met some people who do like you do, and you take an active role in really just giving yourself a very positive experience in your own environment. One of the things that I've noted that some people do who are like that is they will especially pay attention to the photography that they display around the house. And so I'm wondering, does your photography reflect the same attitude?
I have a lot of me and my husband, our wedding day. And then for like gifts, we would make each other like on Shutterfly, like those books of like the picture books, So we have a lot of them. And then we have a lot of like, just like cute little like wall art things, like feng shui going on. And I have like, a few little crystals here and there, but the pictures of me and him, like it's not like a shrine to us, but it's like, it's happiness. Every picture is happiness. You know what I mean? So I love it.
Joe B just jumped in on the live stream. He said, those notes help me too.
That's
I love
him.
them. So there we go. That's your hubby?
Yep. Hopefully. I can't see. I never can see the little comments, so I'm not really sure. But I'm really not good with computers, so. In front of my face, who knows?
Maybe Joe can help you with that sometime.
That's who I use. That's why I don't know how to do it, because I probably use him as a crutch. Come help me.
Hey, you're not the only one. Louise does the same thing with me.
It's either that or I Google it I try it. I either figure it out and it works, or I Google it didn't work, and then I'm like, hey, please help me.
He says, oh, it's me, and he's got laughing.
Yeah, because he knows how bad I am with computers. That's why I have none of those Venmo things yet and whatnot. That's why I didn't have Facebook until Taya, and I'm like, okay, navigating this thing a little bit.
That's really interesting. That's very interesting.
And I didn't get the Instagram. I had it before, but for like a month, and I didn't get it this time until I wanted to friend you and then David and Stacy. Like, no joke. That's like why I got that. I didn't have any of that stuff. Yeah, now I do, thanks to you guys. So maybe I'll get on some Venmos pretty soon or something. You guys are getting me into the tech world.
Well, actually, I can't claim that I've done a whole lot with Venmo. I've actually conducted one transaction in my life on Venmo. That's it.
Oh, really? That's like the main one I feel like I hear about.
It's been popular, very popular lately. It's actually owned by PayPal. Okay. It's part of the PayPal organization.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. Why they did a separate one, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, but that's what I was just thinking.
I don't know. There must have been some reason behind that one.
Yeah, probably. Come on.
But I'm intrigued by, I mean, it's almost a stereotype. Your generation is like all the computer literate, and then here you are talking about.
I know. Everyone's always like, you don't have that? You don't have Facebook? I tried to look you up on Facebook. I couldn't find you.
Right.
I was like, no. And they're, what? Everyone has that. And then you see like a movie, and then I saw a show too, where it was serial killers who didn't have any, and I was like, oh my God! I'm like, those people, like, people are probably like, that weird, oh my God, she's probably one of them. She doesn't have social media, she's definitely a serial killer. It was so funny, for real. Me and my husband are the same, he doesn't either. So when we saw it, we were like, oh my God, that's so funny. We're like the serial killers, man.
I'm sorry. I'm just having, it's a real stretch of the imagination for me to picture you as a serial killer. It just, Bridget, serial killer. Bridget, serial
That's true. I probably couldn't stop laughing in time to kill somebody. It would never work. They would kill me in 2 seconds because I would just be laughing, and they'd be like, well, this is easy.
You might kill them with laughter. You might do that. But.
Maybe that, yeah. Or my parents, I don't know if they used to say this or if I made this up. I have no idea. But I swear, I think before, maybe I made this up. I said if someone just stole me, I would just start talking and it would give me back. Like, when you're a kid, dude, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this one doesn't shut up and she doesn't stop asking questions. Like, if someone did take her, they would give her back. Like, it's cool. We're good.
Reject.
We'll drop her back off.
We're done with her. Go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're good now. Ran out of duct tape for her mouth. Somebody take her.
And to everybody who is concerned about people who are unjustly taken like that, no, we're not making fun of them. We're just.
Oh my God,
no.
Yeah,
no,
God,
not that at all.
No.
But this has been fun though, sharing a couple stories, especially some manifestation stories, and I love the influence we had on you Friday.
Oh my, I love it. And I love the influence you had on Joe.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's freaking awesome.
But what's even more awesome is when Joe or anybody takes that influence and goes with it. Because he didn't have to.
I know.
He could have just said no thanks. Mm-hmm. But he said thank you and he went with it.
Yeah.
And that to me that's exciting.
It was huge. Oh my God. I was so excited. Oh my God.
Because that's a choice.
Yeah.
That's a human being making a choice. You know, I'm going to go with the better answer. I'm going to go with answer B. B is better for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a cool thing. Really good. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're looking forward to get Jeanine back next week. But in the meantime, thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you in boot camp tonight.
Yes.
And any boot campers tuning in tonight, thank you for tuning into the podcast. We'll see you as well. But for the rest of you podcast listeners, we love all of you too. Thank you very much for listening. By the way, you want to make sure to tune in. Let's see, what day is it? Is it Friday? I think it's this Friday. Dave Strickle's on. Is it this one?
Ooh.
I'll have to look. I think it's either this one or next one. I'm not sure which one it is. But Dave Strickle's going to be coming on pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I'll double check that and I'll make the announcement later on this week.
Sweet.
So yeah, it's coming. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bridget. Appreciate everything that you're contributing here. Thank you to podcast listeners everywhere. And we will see you all next time here on Elway Today.
Thank
Goodbye,
you all.
everybody.